Hello and welcome. Let's see how
Hello,
many.
hello.
Everyone.
Ooh, people are trickling in, actually flooding in. This is awesome.
Nice.
We're going to get started in a couple minutes. Just going to leave maybe a couple extra minutes for people to join. In the meantime, maybe I can try and see if I can put on some music. Let's see. YouTube.
Elevator music.
Can you hear this? Not yet. Okay, I think
Not
I
yet.
need to go to share sound. How's that?
Oh, cool. Nice.
Is it too loud or is it okay? Okay.
It's okay.
Welcome everyone. We're going to get started super soon. Thank you all for joining. Hope everyone's excited to learn about the winners after a month long of building and a lot of anticipation. I'm just going to wait until we get to 04. So one more minute. Okay. I think we can slowly get started. Cool. So before we officially start, just want to introduce myself. My name is Andrea. I'm a dev advocate at Flow. With me today is also Bohao, also known on Discord as BT Wood, also a dev advocate on the Flow team, and a super special guest, Luca, from Sportvatar and Flowvatar, who's going to be announcing the Sportvatar bounty. So Luca, feel free if you want until it's your turn. If you want, you can turn off your video.
Okay.
But also feel free to show your very tan face. Everyone's jealous of your vacation tan. No, jokes aside, do whatever feels comfortable, and we can dive right in. All right. So this hackathon would not have been possible without all of our amazing support. So I want to give a special shout out to all of our sponsors, partners, and a community who was involved. So especially the title sponsors, so Google, Microsoft, QuickNode, AWS, Chainlink. Yes, if you didn't know, all of these were part of this hackathon, which goes to show just how much interest there is in Flow. But also big shout out to everyone else here. And of course, the whole hackathon was hosted on DevFolio. So also a special shout out to DevFolio for partnering with us again for this season 2. I also want to give a big shout out to both Microsoft and Chainlink, who were kind enough to run some workshops leading up to the build phase. So Microsoft ran a workshop that was all dedicated to their AI platform, and Chainlink ran a workshop all about how do you connect smart contracts to the real world, and also gave an overview of how you can use Chainlink and Flow together. So big shout out. We have the recordings. And if they're not on YouTube already, we'll make sure to upload them ASAP. So what was this hackathon all about? Most of you here know it was a virtual global hackathon, but it was a lot more than that. So we had 41, yes, you read that right, 41 IRL events around the world. And that's across every continent except Antarctica, which you will forgive us for, hopefully. So the Flow community really rallied together. This was all community organized. Just goes to show you the strength, the passion, and the excitement that's going on all over the world for Flow. And you can see here, I just took a couple images. We have a whole Google Drive full of photos from all of the events, but unfortunately, we only have this many pixels. But this should give you a flavor of how these events were. They ranged from massive auditoriums to small meetups. It doesn't matter how big or small an event is, as long as there's community, as long as there's people talking, I think it's just wonderful. So really, really, really psyched that we were able to almost 4x the amount of events since season 1. So big shout out to everyone who was involved, everyone who attended these events. And if you're interested in organizing events for the next one, which we will talk about at the end of this awards ceremony, please reach out. We'd love to work with you. So just to recap, we had 6 tracks. We had a gaming track, right? And this is where we also have the Sport Batar bonus, which is a special bounty. And we have 5 winners for that track for a total of $50,000 in flow and prizes. We had a DeFi track, and this was dedicated to any project building anything DeFi related. Same thing, 50,000, 5 winners. And this is going to be the same for all of the next 3 tracks. So AI and Web3, how do we merge these 2 worlds? And really, I mean, AI is all the hype these days, right? But with all of these autonomous agents, more and more people are trying to connect the dots of, hey, a decentralized platform and AI, that seems like it goes well together. I see someone raise their hand. I'm going to leave time for questions at the end, but feel free to raise your hands at the end and we can answer any questions, okay? We also had a mobile track, $50,000 in flow, 5 winners, and an everything else track. This was a catch-all just to kind of catch anything else, including maybe apps experimenting with different chains as well that were connecting to flow in some way. And then a tools and infrastructure track. There we had a bit more winners and the same amount of prize for each winner. And these were really focused on, hey, these are tools for the ecosystem, and there's probably an opportunity to continue building them and building them out. So there's an opportunity for follow-up grants. Again, this obviously remains to be seen, but if whoever participated in this track is keen to continue and is also a winner, then we'll be definitely talking again. Cool. So this is like the panorama of the prizes. Here's a little bit of stats. We had 7,000 registrations, right? We had 300 plus teams submitting something, and we had 47 nominations. Now, what do I mean by nominations? Nominations are after the 3 rounds of judging, we landed on 47 projects that we absolutely loved. And this is through aggregating the scores of all 3 rounds of judging. Unfortunately, we only have 35 prizes. So thankfully, we have 35 prizes and not just 3. But there unfortunately are going to be some nominees who will not be winning a prize today. But every nominee, if you have received, especially if you have received an email that you were a nominee, then we definitely want to continue chatting. We definitely want to continue to help you build, and we'll talk about this more later on. Okay, so are we ready to get to the awards part, the part everyone's been waiting for? Let's get to it. All right. Now, the good news is, like in season 1, everyone has won something. Everyone, if you've submitted a project, everyone gets a .find domain name. A .find domain name is similar to .eth or .lens in the Ethereum world. The .find name is your own personal profile. A lot of projects on Flow integrate with .find. You can see here a screenshot of my Andrea.find profile. And everyone who submitted a project is eligible to get a 5 or more letter find name. And every category winner, So the top team in all of the tracks that we talked about is eligible to get a 3-letter fine name, which is a $500 value, that alone. And that means every participant of the team, of the winning team for that track, is able to get a free 3-letter .fine name. So how do you get your .fine name? You just need to go to bit.ly/find-winners, or you can scan the QR code. We can share this link later, so don't worry if you don't have time to write it down or if you don't have time to scan it. What you'll need to do is you'll add your email and your Discord handle exactly how exactly how it's written on Discord, and the same one that you use to connect to DevFolio. And once it says that you're eligible, then you can claim your .fine name. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to leave this up for like 5 more seconds. But again, we will share this link on our Discord Hackathon channel. So don't worry about it if you can't write it down. And I'll also write it in the chat real quick so everyone has it. So let me go to the chat. Everyone, oops. Oh, thank you, Bohao. Bohao already wrote it. But I don't think you can, I don't think as a panelist you can write to everyone. So let me write it again just to be safe.
Oh, sorry.
Find winners. No, it's okay. Okay, now you should have it in the chat. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention, if you have questions throughout, especially towards the end where we talk about what's next, you can use the Q&A functionality to send in your questions. Whoever's not talking can kind of look through, and at the end we'll go through them. So if you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A functionality. All right. So now we're getting to the track prizes. Let's start with the gaming track. All right, and Bohao is going to join me and talk about. We're going to go in ascending order. We're going to start from the 3 runners up. So just to remind everyone, the non-infrastructure tracks, we have a first place prize, a second place prize, and 3 runner-up prizes. So a total of 5 prizes, and so we're going to start with the runner-up prizes, and you will see who they are. All right, so let's start with the first runner-up of the first track, and that is Mighty Cats. So Mighty Cats is a gaming experience where you can rescue virtual cats, and every cat within the game represents a real-life cat that has been rescued by a shelter, and it has some cool dynamic properties and some interesting on-chain logic. Aboha, did you notice anything cool about this project that you want to call out?
I really liked the UI and the lovely cat. And yeah, they store some on-chain data and for NFTs. And yeah, really cute.
Yeah, very high quality visuals. So props to the team there. So of course, also just want to clarify that although Bohao and I are going to be the one presenting the winners, there was a whole panel of judges that kind of decided who the winners are. So it's not like me and Bohao sat down and decided, okay, these are who wins. But as we are the presenters, we also will be sharing our personal take. Cool. So Mighty Cats, congrats. As a runner-up prize, you won $6,000 in flow, and we will have details on how to claim the prizes at the end. All right, ready for the next runner-up? Roll on Flow. So this is a series of small games, and what the judges really appreciated with this track was that all of the randomness and all of the state was done on-chain, and they had some pretty interesting contracts to do the on-chain randomness. I don't know, Boha, if you want to add anything else here.
I remember that project. Yes, a lot of full on-chain logic, and you can play some games, some mini games, and just have some fun with the rolling experience. But the most important thing is that they have a lot of on-chain logic, and that's what we most interested in.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say, which is I want to remind everyone that this hackathon was all about on-chain logic. So even if there was an amazing app that we absolutely loved as a judging team, but it had very little on-chain logic, it might not have won compared to a game, an app or a game or a submission that had more complex on-chain logic. All right, so congrats to Roll and Flow. And the next runner-up is FanBet. So they also had a really cool UI and betting experience, all through creating betting pools and also integrated with all of the popular NFT collections on Flow. So really, really cool concepts. Also used offline Q&A games and just overall really cool submission. All right, I think we need to speed things up a bit, otherwise we won't get to the end. So congrats, FanBet. And now let's get to the second place. Second place is Blockslide. Blockslide is an interactive puzzle NFT game. And what's really cool is the combination of the music experience and the on-chain logic and how the two interact together. Right, Boham?
Yeah, you're right. And one thing is, whenever you play with this game, they will store your move, store your any actions on blockchain and generate a specific scoring traits from and store that in a specific NFT. So really interesting about that on-chain logic. So you can try this game within that.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend everyone, once the presentation is over, to go and check out. We're going to also publish a blog post with all of the winners. So you can easily click on each project. But props to the Blockslide team. Really, really cool experience. All right. And the winner of this track is Artwalk. So Artwalk, walk crafted NFTs. So they created an experience where, and for every winner of each track, we're going to flip through their presentation just so that you can kind of get an idea of what the project was about. But what we really loved about it was the unique take on the integrating a lot of different things: AI, real life activity, so walking, and NFTs, and how all of that can work together to incentivize people to get out of their house, get away from the computer, and actually go out for a walk. So really, really cool concept. As you can see here, you can decide there's a kind of a path that you have to follow, and you have to walk in a way that kind of resembles that path. And then through an AI process, it calculates how close you were to that path, and you're able to mint it, and you have your own unique NFT of that experience. So really cool concept. And if hopefully it goes to mainnet, and I'm going to be the first one to use it daily, because I definitely need an excuse to go out and walk. I don't know about you, Bohao. But yeah,
definitely.
Cool. It also has some cool multiplayer concepts like challenges. So sorry, before I get to the Flovatar, I just want to say again, congrats to Artwalk. You won $20,000 in flow, and hopefully that will be enough to help you on your journey to mainnet, because we all want to see this concept come to life. All right, so Luca, as I introduced earlier, I'm going to hand it over to you to talk about the Sportvatar bounty.
Thank you. So yeah, we created the bounty thinking about new ways that we can use the Sportvatar characters, and especially using their abilities, because they have special abilities. Each one will have randomized set of points between power, speed, stamina, mental strength. And we were looking for a way to have fun with this character that are gonna be minted by people. And we saw some really nice submissions, but I think we didn't really find one that was exactly a game that was matching what we were looking for. But we were really happy to see Derp that came up with the Sportvatar ranking stats and profile. That it's really a great platform to see leaderboards, to see the stats of all the collections of all the existing Sportvatar and those that will come. So we decided to at least provide him half the price of the original 5,000 flow. So we will send him 2,500 flow for the great project he built with all the great statistics. And he did already something very similar and even more extended for Flowvatar, but it was really nice to see it applied for Sportvatar. And we will definitely look into expanding it more once we will release our own games and our own challenges that we have in mind. And by the way, we will do the pack sale on Sportvatar on the 12th of September that we just announced it yesterday. So yeah, really looking forward to collaborate with Derp. Is one of our best community members, and yeah, really thanks a lot to him for making the great project.
Luca, do you want to give maybe a 30-second TLDR of what Sportvatar is, just in case people aren't aware of it yet?
Thank you. I don't want to take too much time because I know you have a lot of things to cover. But yeah, Sportvatar is a side project from what we built with Flowvatar, where you can make your own character specialized about sports. So we cover all sports, not just football, NBA, basketball, but we cover really any sport. And we build it in collaboration with Marca and Gazzetta, that are two really big media corporations in Europe, based mostly in Europe, from Italy, Spain, and Latin America. And our aim is to connect the fan base of all sports with their sport heroes and their favorite teams. And over time, we will create, like I said, many games and many challenges, and also many ways to connect with their favorite teams and have special discounts and prizes that can be targeted to the specific sports they will choose. So there is a lot to come and many more details we will release. So stay tuned on sportvatar.com, and yeah, super excited about it. Thank you for the time and the opportunity.
No problem. Also put the link in the chat in case anyone wants to check it out. Obviously after the award ceremony, because now your undivided attention is for the award ceremony. But thank you, Luca, for joining, and hope you enjoy the rest of it.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the next track, AI. All right, AI. Let's look at the runners-up. Runner-up, SimplyFlow. So SimplyFlow is a platform that uses AI to generate, audit, and deploy Cadence contracts. It's pretty cool. You can use it to ask questions. You can use it to generate contracts. And then once it's generated, you can also modify it and even audit it. Now, I'm sure it needs a little bit of fine tuning as you know, but I think as a proof of concept, it was really well made, and really hope that the team behind it keeps building it out. I don't know, Bohao, if you had any comments on SimplyFlow.
Yeah, I remember he had a lot of features, but you can directly chatting with the bot and generate something like contract. Also, you can audit the contract, but yeah, still have some something need to improve, like you cannot generate too complex for now.
Yeah, I think that's a limitation of any AI model at the moment. But especially for Cadence, since there's not as many sample codes available, right? But it's still impressive what it's able to do. All right, so congrats to SimplyFlow for being a runner-up. Again, you can see your prize amount in the top right. Next runner-up is Ricardian AI. So this was a really cool idea of merging the concept of contracts and how to make them legally binding. So you take a legal contract and you use AI to turn that into a Cadence contract. Again, very ambitious, but it's a really cool concept of something that's legal. So it's very structured. It's very, has points. It has specific requirements, and you can turn that into a smart contract. So it's autonomous, it's decentralized, and really, really cool concept. So congrats to Ricardian AI for being a runner-up. All right. Next one is Mint to the Future. I realize I'm taking all of them, but how do you want to talk about Mint to the Future?
I remember that one. The first time I saw this project, I think, wow, why it need me to input a ETH address, and later I found that it's just very interesting. You input your ETH address and you will scan all the NFT or you already own on ETH network, and you can select some other NFT and generate a new one, and that one you can mint on Flow. So that's really interesting that you can bring the different NFT from different blockchains and using AI to generate a new one, and that's really cool.
Yeah. So totally agree. Mint to the Future. Loved the Flow capacitor. Congrats for being a runner-up. You won the runner-up prize of $6,000 in Flow. All right, time for second place. Everyone ready? Let's talk about Task AI. So Task AI is really, really interesting because as I was mentioning earlier about the AI space, right? There's a lot of agents that do things automatically. And the concept of smart contracts and autonomous smart contracts is that autonomously things can happen and they can regulate, right? So a smart contract based on a condition can execute a function or can allow something to do something or can transact. And Task AI really takes this to heart and created a platform on which AI agents or AI tasks can work through smart contracts and how they work together. So kind of like a microtransaction marketplace, right? So kind of like Fiverr, but for smart contracts and AI tasks, which we thought was super, super cool and very, very applicable, and something that as AI gets more and more involved, we'll definitely need. So congrats to Task AI for winning second place, and definitely keep building this all the way to mainnet. And the winner is Wondermon. Wondermon had a combination of fun, of AI, of course, really, really well executed mobile app. It just had everything. It had walletless onboarding. I can also flip through, some of the slides to talk about it. But so basically, it adds another dimension to your NFTs, right? So you can talk to your NFTs. You can give your NFTs a personality. It's not just an image anymore. It's something more, and you can make it what you want. And what's even cooler is it allows you to manage your wallet via regular human language, right? So you can send flow by just typing out send flow. You don't need to learn a UI. You can just talk talk or type, and things will get done for you. So, and as I mentioned, wallet onboarding. So it was a combination of a lot of things, all summed together in a really, really brilliant execution. So really big props to the team behind Wondermon for winning first place in the AI track. And Bohao, do you have anything to add about Wondermon before we move forward?
It's really good products, and I think everyone knows about the builder for Wondermon. Is yeah,
Cool.
if you're using the flow view, if you're using like another tool on that Dio and the drizzles. I remember that he built 3 tool and also the contract browser.
Yeah, so massive congrats, and yeah, keep building. And again, all of these projects need to go to mainnet, guys, so don't stop building now. All right, let's move to the mobile track. The mobile track was, sorry, before we move forward, I also want to mention one thing. Some of these projects obviously were cross-applicable to multiple tracks. What we decided to do as a judging team was to make sure that as many projects as possible were able to win a prize. So even though one project could have potentially been great for the mobile track, for the AI track, and for the gaming track, we wanted to give a fair chance to everyone, or to as many projects as possible. So that's why you may not see your project winning multiple categories. I think it's only fair, and that doesn't, that just means that more people are able to win a prize and hopefully get some encouragement to go to mainnet. So without further ado, let's go to the mobile track. The mobile track has as first runner-up Mavota, a decentralized voting and polling app for conducting any type of voting or election or vote on Flow. Really, really well made, really good integration. I think just a solid, well-built app. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Bohao. Otherwise, we can.
That's with a very nice UI. I remember that project, and and for the mobile sides, well integrated with Flow, and I think that.
So congrats, Mavota team, for winning one of the runner-up prizes. Let's move to the next one. Legends of Flow. So this is a gamification app for your Dapper collectibles. So you can turn your collectibles and you can play games with them. So super cool concept, some cool gameplay. Congrats, Legends of Flow, for being a runner-up. Also want to mention that the runner-ups are not in any order. Okay, so there's second and first place, and then there's 3 runners up, but the order does not matter. So just want to make that clear. Next runner up is Flow Transfer. Now, this is a really, really cool app. Basically, it allows you to transfer tokens and make transactions on Flow with this app using ultrasound waves. Highly recommend you try it out. It also works offline, and it can find phones nearby, and you can send them Flow, and all of that happens through ultrasound, which is quite magical. And quite innovative. At least I hadn't seen it before. So congrats, Flow Transfer, really cool app, and congrats on winning the prize. All right, again, I'm sorry if I go a little fast, but we have so many prizes to go through. Next one is the second place, NuPi. Bohao, do you want to take this one since I talked about the previous ones?
It seems that I didn't have a I
It's okay. I
remember
can take
this.
it. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah,
NuPy is it's the description that you see there is a little confusing, I have to say, but the project is pretty cool. So what you can do is you can create a series of business logic that when unlocked, like when those things are satisfied, enables an airdrop or enables something to happen. So a company could use NuPy to create a series of tasks or a series of also it has location constraints. So if a user is in a specific location, then they're eligible to claim an NFT. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So basically, the description from the team is when the user enters the chat room created by the company into the application and provides the conditions required by the company, for example, photos, text, location information, then they are eligible to get the airdrop. So I think it's a really cool project. It has a ton of potential if the team decides to really build this out, because there's just so many potential applications in the real world. And that's why it was a second prize winner, because potentially, a ton of companies could use this. And we really hope that the NuPy team continues to build this out into something even more polished and bigger. So congrats NuPy for second place. Now we'll go to first place. Ooh, drum roll. Swirl. Congrats, Swirl team. Now, again, for every first place, we have the slides, so I'm just going to flip through them. But Swirl really impressed pretty much all of the judges because of a combination of an awesome UI, a great intersection of Web3 and Web2, and just a UX that's so intuitive and very reminiscent of like a native Apple experience that was recently shown in the latest OS that's going to be launched in September. So just to walk you through it a little bit, the whole concept is proof of meeting. So you can meet someone and have the proof that you met them. And the way that you have the proof is that you, as you see on the right here, you kind of bump phones, right? And like which you swirl, at least that's the new verb. And it exchanges your Web3 profile that you can create on Swirl. And you have proof, you have track that you have met that person. And just the UI is really, really well made. You can see, like, you can personalize your profile. You can have a list of everyone that you've met. You shake and swirl. And yeah, and then you have your profile and you can check who you met and when. So really, really, really cool. It's kind of like POAP, but for meeting people, and probably, in my opinion, is even more useful, or at least it's something that I would love to use, because I would love to use this when I go to conferences. I would love to use this when I go to meetups where I really want to remember everyone I talk to. But Telegram chats just they just get lost. Whereas this is really, everything is super organized and the UX is just perfect. So congrats, Swirl team, for winning first place. Well deserved. All right. Oh, not to mention they use walletless onboarding and sign in with Apple, which was really, really nice. Oh, and they also have an app clip. All right, let's move to DeFi. Drum roll. How much time do we have? 19 minutes. Okay, I'm going to accelerate. First winner up is Flow Merchant. Flow Merchant is a really cool idea because while at first glance it may seem like just a token transfer app, what they were trying to build is an easy way for businesses to add Flow as a payment layer on any app, right? So kind of like the Stripe, but for Flow and any other Flow tokens. So really cool. It has integrations. It also connects you to faucets. Again, this is something that could be useful for any business wanting to integrate with a cryptocurrency, namely Flow, and easily add it to their site. So congrats, Flow Merchant. Let's move to the next runner-up, Flow Bet Palace. This is also a really cool one, and you may be wondering, hey, like, why is it in the DeFi track? Well, because it uses some cool DeFi mechanics for all of the decentralized betting, and yeah, just a cool UI, cool concept. Highly recommend you check it out. And of course, I keep saying this, but I'm just going to keep repeating it. I really hope that all of these projects, not just this one, continues building to mainnet and to production. I know that some people join hackathons just to play around and then try something else, but we really think that all of these winners have a chance at being something more than just a hackathon project. So really encourage everyone to keep building. The next one is Basket Protocol. So it's basically a decentralized ETF creator on Flow. So the Basket Protocol, the concept of basket is, a bucket where you can put different assets and turn that into an ETF. So really cool concept, very nice UI, very well made. Again, I'm going to say it again. Sorry, guys. Hope to see this on mainnet. The second place goes to NFT loan auction. So we already have some NFT loan marketplaces on Flow, for example, Floaty, which we all love. But this was an interesting, completely from scratch take on it, and allows for decentralized lending with NFTs as collateral. Really cool application, and maybe the team here can work together with Floaty so that you can maybe lean on the same contracts and get that composability going, right? No need to reinvent the wheel, but this was definitely a nice wheel. So congrats on the second place. And first place goes to Flow Cosmos. Flow Cosmos, it was a really, really cool application. So the demo that was created for the hackathon was nice. It combined the Cocos framework, which is like a gaming SDK, to have a very visual way of interacting with a DeFi, like with a swap. So you can select the source token and the destination token, and it'll automatically populate what all the connections are. But what's even more cool about Flow Cosmos is that it integrates with all of the DEXs on Flow. So if we go through their slides, you see here it integrates with Increment, integrates with Blockdo, integrates with Metapeer, and gets the best price, and just shows you all of the various connections. Actually, it's further down. I highly encourage you to try out the actual UI. It's really well made. And what's more is you see here how it creates the various connections. But what's more is all of this infrastructure is created under the hood that any other DeFi on Flow can use. And that's what makes it even more special. You see it has smart swap pool routing, has multipath. So if there's two isolated tokens, but there's maybe like a jump between one with another common token, then it can jump between them. There's splits. It can go across multiple DEXs. Really, really, really well made. So congrats. I think the person behind this is definitely smarter than me, so I won't pretend that I know everything that's being talked about here. The judges were all super impressed with this project. So congrats.
Maybe when you invite some builder for these tracks to our office hour or something like
yes,
that.
exactly. We should invite the builder to our office hours and just have them explain it, and also explain how others can lean on this for their own DeFi projects. I think that's even more important. Or how do you integrate this into your own app? Totally. So congrats, Flow Cosmos, for winning first prize in the DeFi track. All right, everything else track, everything else. Runner-up number 1 is Basket. So Basket is a way to organize your assets. So many of you know on Flow, assets and NFTs, tokens are not stored in the smart contract, they're stored in your account. And different groups of resources have a resource grouping. For NFTs, it's something that's usually called a collection. For fungible tokens, it's usually a vault, right? Or it has to be a vault for if you want to conform to the interface. And that's nothing more than just a resource that contains other resources. So Basket took this one step further and said, okay, well, why don't you may not want to have your storage organized that way. Why don't we just have a new resource that combines multiple different assets, and then when you want, it can repackage them out. So Basket is a cool way to package resources together into baskets, and then that can be used in a variety of different ways, as simple as just transferring it and then unpackaging it, potentially tokenizing something or a group of different NFTs. It has all sorts of resources. So it has all sorts of potential use cases. So big congrats to Basket for being a runner-up. I realize that we are running out of time, so I'm just going to accelerate even further. But just because I go faster doesn't mean that the projects are less awesome. Year blocks, cool concept, well-made app, just a way to, through walletless onboarding, tokenize create yearbooks and tokenize the yearbooks so that they are stored on chain forever. So congrats, Yearblocks, for being a runner-up. Flow Zips. This is also a really cool one. It uses the LIT protocol to fragment the decryption key for secrets. So you know how you have a gift card, and behind the gift card, there's maybe like a scratch-off secret code? Well, all of that is now on chain with Flow Zips. And the only way that you can access that secret is to be the owner of that resource, of that. I think it's an NFT, of that resource that is created. So great way to share secrets, great way for potentially companies to create gift cards and stuff. Really, really cool idea. Big congrats to Flow Zips for being one of the runners up, and congrats on winning $6,000 in Flow. Why is it not? All right. The second place is Flow Forms. The Flow Forms team basically built a whole form framework from scratch, all on Flow. So pretty damn amazing. You can create surveys, you can create forms, and you can then easily connect it to your, base it on token ownership. You can connect it to socials. So it really is like a Web 2.5.3 type of project. And the fact that it's on chain makes it more decentralized, and really hope to see this on mainnet, because I know for one, I would love to use something like this for my own surveys and forms. I hope we can get as many alternatives as possible on Flow so that we don't need to use centralized services. So congrats, Flow Forms, for second place. And the winner is Zuni, DID on Flow. So what was especially interesting and what caught the judges' attention on this is they were also able to integrate some form of ZK snark verification. So it stores the ZK snark verification, or the key on chain, and it does the verification elsewhere. But yeah, just a really cool way, a really original take on just general on-chain identity. Boha, sorry if I don't leave you time to speak, but happy to leave you some time if you want to talk more about Zuni.
Yeah, I really like the concept to not only store your DID on Flow and also but also including some verification mechanism and store the CK proof and using currently since we didn't support CK on Flow blockchain natively, but he using the resource to store the CK proof on Flow and using some off-chain mechanism to verify CK proof, and also it's really well integrated with different third-party services, and see its well UI, and yeah.
Congrats to Zuni for winning first place. All right, I think this is the last track, right, Boha? I think it is.
Yeah.
All right, tooling and infrastructure. For this one, there's 10 winners, so we're going to breeze through them, all right? And they're in no particular order either. So winner number 1, FlowNet AI. Similar to the other AI project, Task AI, this one is a bit more lower level and is a framework on how to manage AI inference nodes through the blockchain, which is pretty interesting and potentially could work together with Task AI. So the two teams should definitely work together on making a decentralized AI platform. So congrats, FlowNet AI, and hopefully the prize money goes towards building this out more and turning it into a proper framework and service for the whole ecosystem. NFT Radar, the new Flow NFT API. So the NFT Radar team built a really cool concept. It's a tool, it's a framework or tool that you ask what you want, and it doesn't just give it back to you. It creates an API on the fly so that you can then use that API to get that thing that you want back every time. So it dynamically creates APIs based on what you need, which is really, really, really cool. Highly recommend you try it out. So congrats, NFT Radar team. The next one is Excluence Scanner. Again, this is also an API to fetch pre-processed data for NFTs, things like rarity score, sales history, market data, volumes, and more. So if you are an NFT enthusiast and just generally want to tap into the ecosystem of NFTs and get some structured data back, this is probably a great way to do it. And it's the self-proclaimed IC.tools and Gen.xyz for Flow. So congrats, excellent scanner. Keep building this. The next one is Flowbook Run. Have you ever used a Jupyter Notebook? Well, now you can use a Jupyter Notebook in VS Code with Cadence. That's right. Flowbook Run is a Jupyter Notebook for Flow. Really, really cool concept.
I love this one.
Yeah, very useful for playing around with things, trying new things out. And I also want to give a shout out to Blue Sign, who has built his own version of this. I don't know if he wants me to share it, but he has a pre-alpha online Jupyter Notebook style thing as well. So big shout out to him, but all the attention now is for the Flowbook Run team. So congrats, Flowbook Run, for winning one of the infrastructure track prizes. This is going to be super useful for all the developers. Then we have the Indexer and Data Infrastructure Solution team. They kind of described what it is instead of creating a cool team name, but no problem. It's still a cool project. So they created an indexer and provides application-specific data for Flow. It can build tables, charts. So it's a really cool combination of tooling utility and AI features together, so that it's not just an indexer, but actually gives you something out that you can use practically. So very cool project. Then we have Flow Assistant, an AI-powered assistant API for wallet developers. So this helps you describe what an application is doing and what a transaction is doing, sorry, so that you can understand what that impact is, right? So it removes the anxiety of sending transactions and makes onboarding easier. So congrats, Flow Assistant. The next one is Forge for Flow. Big shout out to Forge for Flow team. Some of what was built here, I think some of the underlying SDKs were built prior to the hackathon, but the actual application was built during the hackathon, including the auth for Flow and the alerts for Flow. So the auth for Flow gives you identity access management. So you can use whatever authentication scheme you want, for example, RBAC, FGAC, REBAC, and also NFT and NFT and fungible token gated authentication, all via API. And alerts for Flow basically allows you to create webhooks into events and get alerts and stuff. So really, really general purpose framework, really well built. Congrats, Forge for Flow. The next one is Notify, an open communication infrastructure for the Flow ecosystem. So this is a cool way to kind of merge Web 2 and Web 3. You can create emitters based on Web 2 events. You can create emitters based on Web 3 events and vice versa. And you can have things happen based on, or you can have events and notifications happen based on what happens on either side, so that you can create like a cool Web 2.5 experience. The next one is Flow Ant, an easy way to integrate your assets, migrate assets without worrying. So as you know, Flow has collections, as I mentioned. So if you want to transfer a specific NFT to a new wallet that doesn't have that collection, it's going to create issues. So this tool, you can select what NFTs you want to transfer and where, and it does everything else automatically. So big shout out to the Flow Ant team. I think this can evolve into a lot of different other convenience tools. So hopefully, this is a good incentive to continue building and continue making it better and more fully featured. And the other one is Flow Cosmos again. We just had to award another prize to Flow Cosmos in the tooling and infrastructure track because of just how fundamental this whole DEX aggregation is. This is providing a core critical infrastructure on the DeFi side. We hope that this is a good incentive for the Flow Cosmos team to continue building it out. And as more and more DeFi projects lean on it, it will help nurture the DeFi ecosystem on Flow, and obviously super slick UI and super slick UX. All right, so what's next? That'll only take a couple minutes. You may be wondering, how do I get my prizes? Well, we will reach out to you via email. We have your emails from Devfolio. We will reach out to you, not vice versa, because it's safer that way. So you will receive an email from me and Bohao on what we need to send your prizes out, with the exception of the Sport Vatar prize, which I recommend Derp reach out to Luca directly. And don't forget to claim your .find domains at bit.ly/findwinners, and we will reach out to all the nominees for next steps, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Beyond that, we are planning more hackathons, of course, both organized by Flow as well as Flow being at other hackathons. I can't speak. There's one coming up soon. I can't tell you what it is yet because it's not mine to announce, but we will be a major partner there, and it's going to be an opportunity to win more prizes. So if you want to host a hackathon as well, please reach out to us. We would love to have you and support you organizing your local hackathon. There's also more opportunities for funding. So if you're looking for, potentially you didn't win a prize, or you won a prize and you need more because you're greedy, no, just kidding, because you want to, continue building even more cool features, then we have a dedicated process now after the hackathon for anyone wanting to ship, anyone seriously wanting to go to mainnet. So if you really do want to go to mainnet and are ready to commit to milestones and have a plan or need help forming a plan, please reach out to us and we will contact you, and the team will do our best to either potentially discuss grants, give you mentorship, support, networking, access to funding through a network of VCs. So please reach out to us. Every nominee, you remember I mentioned there was 47 nominees. All of them we will reach out to you proactively. But if anyone has not received an email from us at all and thinks, hey, my project is damn cool and I want to bring it to mainnet, but I need help, reach out to us. Okay, we will do our best to help you. All right. So, oops. That's it. So we were only 2 minutes over. Congrats again to all of the winners. I know it's been a long hackathon. This was longer than the last one. The last one was only like a week or so. This one was a whole month of building, but we really saw some really amazing projects come out of it. So, maybe the future ones will be maybe a bit shorter or maybe just as long, but we really saw some really high quality projects come out of this hackathon. All of the judges were super impressed. All of our sponsors and partners who also judged. So we had judges from Microsoft, we had judges from Google, we had judges from AWS, we had judges from Chainlink. They were all super impressed as well. So thank you, everyone. Congrats to all the winners again. Thank you to Luca, and especially thank you to Bohao, who was a critical backbone of the whole logistics post-hackathon. So massive thank you, Bohao, and we'll catch you in the next hackathon. All right. Thank you, everyone.
It was amazing. Great job. Thank you.
All right, little musical outro, and gonna close out. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.